All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our second Supervisorial Forum here on AM 1270 and 96.5 FM KXBX. My name is Paul Thomas, and I am here in the studio today with the two candidates for our District 4 Supervisorial race here in Lake County. I'd like to introduce them both. To my right is candidate Tina Scott, and to my left is candidate Martin Scheel. We have decided that we're going to have the same format that we did yesterday with opening statements from both of the candidates, and then each candidate submitted 3 questions that we are going to use. So we have 6 total that both candidates will get to answer. 2.5-minute time limit will be used to make sure that we keep the pace going and the answers short and concise while still leaving them enough time to fully express their platform. If there is time at the end, we have commonly agreed on an open discussion about some of the issues that are proposed for the lakefront water or the waterfront restructuring that is proposed for Lakeport, as well as maybe some infrastructure questions about roads and so forth here in District 4. So without any further ado, I'd like to go ahead and introduce our candidates and give them an opportunity to introduce themselves to you. And we'll start first with Tina Scott. Welcome, Tina, and thank you. Your time starts now.
Well, thank you for having me on the show. My family and I moved here to Lakeport about 16 years ago. We stayed because we fell in love with the people here in the community. And, I found my passion here in Lakeport, and my passion was to help the youth of Lake County. My husband and I started doing foster care, and we fostered over 60 youth within a 6-year period of time and adopted 5 from the foster care system, giving these children forever homes. When working with the foster children, I found that the system is overburdened, not just CPS, but the justice system, the school system. 25% of our youth that are in foster care end up in our justice system. So that shows that there's a missing link there that we need to do some more work. And I decided that I was going to be the champion for the youth and start doing as much work as I could with them. I started working at the school, sitting on site councils, juvenile justice, became a CASA worker that I could work one-on-one with youth. Just countless hours giving back. And I want to bring the same dedication and passion that I have to the youth as supervisor to all the people in Lake County. The important role of supervisor is to be a leader, and to be a leader who leads with the voice of the people. And they need to know the difference between hearing views and concerns and listening and understanding them. I believe that government sometimes is missing compassion, and I think that is needed to make those difficult choices. Lake County needs somebody that knows the people, listens to the people, and will follow a strict code of conduct as an elected official, and I believe that is me.
Thank you, Tina. Okay, we're going to go ahead and give the opportunity for Martin Scheel to introduce himself. Martin, welcome to the program. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, Paul, and thank you, KXBX, for hosting us here today, and thank you, all of you out there in Radio Land that have taken your time from your busy schedule to listen to us today. I've been a Lake County resident for more than 30 years. I grew up here over on the lower lake side of the county, and a single mom, couple of siblings, and understand the challenges and successes that this county has afforded me and my family. My wife Jennifer is an educator, currently the assistant principal at Clear Lake High School, and my son Mitchell is a very precocious 2.5 years old, and now knows more than his dad apparently. It was a very lengthy discussion and decision to run for District 4 Supervisor. I talked to many of my constituents, family members, friends, local, state, and even federal legislators to come to this decision. And this wasn't a bucket list item. This wasn't something that 5, 10, 15 years ago I put on a list and ready to check mark it off. But what was on that list was giving back to the community that's giving me so much throughout my lifetime here in Lake County, and now my family, and want to protect that for the future. So with that, I decided to run, and what I first found as an elected official here for the city of Lakeport, former mayor, currently a council member, is we were lacking representation for District 4 with inside city limits. And a lot of that is communication and cooperation. And I found that the only way that I could correct that issue was to run for District 4 Supervisor. So part of that's already corrected itself. But I definitely want to bring my experience, tested leadership in and throughout Lake County to the District 4 supervisor seat. Lake County and District 4 deserve a full-time supervisor, someone that can reach out, talk to the people, listen to the people, and make decisions based on what's best for our community, not necessarily special interest in throughout the county of Northern California. I have tested leadership with the League of California Cities, reaching out to various organizations, and I will bring that leadership and experience to District 4. So with that, I really believe that leadership and experience, day one, full-time District 4 supervisor, is myself, Martin Scheel, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Martin. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the question and answer period here of our forum. Again, both of the candidates were asked to submit 3 questions that were relative to the issues that we have here in District 4. So we're going to go back to Martin to start here. This is question number 1. It says here, Lake County has suffered a couple of horrendous disasters in the past year. What experience do you have in providing emergency response? As a county supervisor, what steps would you take to respond in a major emergency?
Well, unfortunately, Paul, the experience that I've gained in the since the summer of 2015 was in your face, boots on the ground experience. When the Valley Fire hit from day one, I was side by side with Sheriff Brian Martin, Supervisor Rob Brown, in the very act of helping people get out of their homes, find temporary shelter, temporary housing, trying to help direct our city staff. What can we do? The things that we need to provide to help the community, help the county, from public works to our very own staff members, even council members working in the Emergency Operations Center. That experience is tough learned, and the state and federal entities involved in the recovery, even while the fire is still burning, is very, very important. And I have those relationships through Cal OES, through Congressman Thompson's office, Senator McGuire, and Assemblymember Dodd. Having their representation here is very important, and we need to make sure that we keep that representation going. And I have those relationships currently. We need to learn from the challenges we had during the Valley Fire about evacuations, about communication, having the necessary infrastructure here to support a very large evacuated group of people, working with the Red Cross. So the most important thing that we need to do is learn from past experiences, and having 12 months of in your face, on the ground, fire burning, beside of the road experience, I think is paramount to the District 4 seat. And this is one of those things that can't be learned from a book, although continued education, that we can reach out through the community and other communities that go through disasters such as Napa, really leaning on Congressman Thompson's office through their experiences from the Napa earthquake, are very important for our future. And this type of disaster has put us in a recovery mode that really reset the bar. We are no longer actively recovering and then we'll be out of recovery. This is the life of Lake County. So those experiences, working alongside our local electeds, definitely Sheriff Brian Martin, utilizing his experience, his tested leadership. I'll stand side by side with that and utilize that leadership and experience as District 4 Supervisor.
Thank you, Martin. Okay, now on to Tina, and we will give her the opportunity to answer the same question. Lake County has suffered a couple of horrendous disasters in the past year. What experience do you have in providing emergency response? As a county supervisor, what steps would you take to respond to a major emergency?
As supervisor, I will make sure that we have an up-to-date disaster plan for the county that is tested on a regular basis. This information needs to be shared with all the residents, not just the county employees. And all residents need to be strongly encouraged to sign up for the automatic NIXL alerts and know where and how they're going to get to the places they need to go in an event of emergency. And these places need to be told to the citizens beforehand so they know where to go. We shouldn't be waiting for an event to happen to make the plan. We need the plan now. We should be proactive, not reactive. I will have to say my entire family jumped in to help the fire victims in the last couple events. We gathered clothing and household items to donate. No, I was not on the front lines helping with the fires, but I was in the shelters assisting, helping organize the truckloads of donations that came into our county. I helped prepare dinner and serve the fire victims of the Clayton fire, and I also was asked by Supervisor Brown to hand out $250 gift cards to the children who lost everything, so they could put their lives together and be able to return to school and have the tools that they need, the clothing and the essentials, the pencils, to go to school and be productive and learn. I even donated money myself, and this was a very emotional day for me and the families. There was a lot of tears. I would also like to add that Lake County has many silent, horrendous events, more than just the fires here. We need to keep all of our vulnerable residents in the forefront of our minds. For over 6 years, my husband and I sat on the front lines taking in emergency foster children. We had many placed with us at 2 o'clock in the morning with nothing on their backs, in their jammies, at a stranger's house. And there needs to be a continuous support and vigilance in our community, not just when the governor states that we're in a disaster. So we need to be thinking about what we're going to be doing in the future to make sure that we are prepared. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Okay, we'll stick with Tina as we move on to our second question of the forum. How do you see the future of Lake County's economy?
Lake County is really starting to blossom. I don't know if you've seen the unique shops that are both in Upper Lake and Kelseyville, and their small town charm is really starting to shine. I recently attended the Certified Tourism Ambassadors Training up in Upper Lake last week, where we were guided through the shops and restaurants, being able to talk to the owners about the shops and their plans for the future. And every one of them was very enthusiastic about Lake County and its economy. There was also 40 ambassadors in attendance that night, and we were taught the history of Upper Lake. And they were all delighted to learn about what Upper Lake has gone through and ready to turn around and teach others. If you don't know about the Certified Tourism Ambassadors Program, you need to look it up on the county's website. As supervisor, it's going to take someone out talking with the people and understanding where we are and where we're headed to better understand those tough decisions. We also need to promote Lake County as a great place for remote workers to relocate. What is a better place to live than a low-cost county where we have clean air and gorgeous views while collecting their salaries from Silicon Valley? I know my husband is a stay-at-home dad or stay-at-home worker, and this is the best place to be able to do it. But of course, we need to be able to offer them infrastructure. We need to have reliable internet and cell phone coverage so they can do their job efficiently. Reliable broadband. We also need to work hard to replace the property taxes and the revenues lost from the fires, cutting out any roadblocks that home builders might run into. And I think the system that they're working with trying to get things online, it will speed up this process. Having them be able to rebuild will only add to our economy. I plan to spend time in Sacramento fighting for our piece of California's pie. That we have. We need to make sure that people know that Lake County is here and that we need their help. And that would be one of the biggest things, is making sure we're bringing in grant money here to the county.
Thank you, Tina. Martin, you will get the same question. How do you see the future of Lake County's economy?
I think Lake County's future is looking pretty bright. The economy is going to be good. We have a wonderful natural resource in the lake itself. We need to continue to protect that resource. We have a robust agricultural group here in Lake County, from wine grapes to walnuts to pears. And, agro-business and agro-tourism are very important. Those are the very things that bring people here to Lake County to want to visit. And, of course, the lake, boating, recreation, hiking. So those are very important. One of the most important foundational pieces of our economy is housing and affordable housing. And right now with the recovery, housing is first and foremost one of the most important things that will help or hinder our economy. We need to make sure that barriers and state mandates that have been thrown down for newer building practices, can be looked at seriously and find ways through our state legislators working hand in hand with Senator McGuire and Assemblymember Dodd to make sure that Sacramento understands our plight, that affordable housing is important for Lake County, especially in this recovery. But some of the new building restrictions in California make that very tough. Now, affordable becomes a very larger number than what used to be considered affordable housing. Property taxes, the largest income that comes into the coffers of a $200 million plus budget in Lake County come from property taxes. And we're looking at a multi-million-dollar loss. And that trickles down even further than just the general fund. That trickles down to those folks who are no longer living in their homes in Cobb Mountain that maybe travel down to District 4 to do their shopping. So, we're realizing some sales tax loss here in the city of Lakeport as well. So housing is paramount for the future of our economy. Again, protecting the lake. Making sure that we're marketing the lake properly to bring visitors to Lake County. Bringing visitors to Lake County helps promote business development and small business, not only from our own folks, our own residents here in Lake County, but it entices those folks from out of county to maybe change their quality of life, to upgrade their quality of life and open a business here in Lake County. We need to continue to fight for Sacramento's help in promoting our economy here. Sacramento's helping us right now, the state of California, with some of those dollars in recovery, but we need to make sure that that very same vigilant effort moves forward in Sacramento. And my relationships and my testimony, the many, many hours I've spent in Sacramento, I'll bring that experience right back here to District 4 as your supervisor.
Thank you, Martin. Okay, let's move on here to our next question. We're going to stay with Martin. This one goes to you first. The Lake County Sheriff's Department has lost several deputies to neighboring counties that pay higher salaries. As a supervisor, how would you improve our county's ability to retain its law enforcement personnel? Your time starts now.
Well, this has been an ongoing issue, and not just so much for the Lake County Sheriff's Department, but for the Clear Lake Police Department and the Lakeport Police Department. And we have realized that there's been a disparity in the salary packages and benefits packages from our local law enforcement officers. And both the city and county have taken recent steps to help augment some of that by both giving raises. My work at City Council, through staff and through working with Chief Rasmussen, we found a way to offer our police officers a raise. And that really leads to retention and recruitment, some of the most important things we need to do. Through Sheriff Brian Martin's leadership and the supervisors right now, they've done a lot of hard work. They've given our deputies a raise. And really, we're not striving to create a salary that is going to equal Napa or Sonoma County. I don't think we can get there. But what we can do is offer a benefits package that matches the quality of life and will help our deputies and our local law enforcement officers want to stay here in Lake County, because public safety is paramount. And sometimes tough decisions have to be made with those budgets. Every single one of the budgets in Lake County is streamlined. And money has to come from somewhere. There's only so much money that comes in and so much that goes out. And right now we're looking at even larger deficit with property tax loss from the devastating fires. So sometimes tough decisions have to be made. The city of Lakeport, we sat down with staff and our police department and my fellow council members and I, we said, listen, we need to give our police officers a raise. How can we make that happen? So we had to move some money. We had to find creative ways to better utilize our existing staff. So if there's infrastructure that needs to be placed through our water and sewer departments, let's see if we can utilize those water and sewer department staff employees. Let's fix the road as well. Let's double utilize those dollars. I think that can be done at the county level as well. But ultimately, resources and reoccurring funding is going to be necessary to help promote these programs. But again, you definitely need someone in there that can make a tough decision, and law enforcement is very important. And I know roads are important. They're probably the two most talked about things in the county. But I always say, what's the point of a great road and a brand new sidewalk if your family can't safely walk down them? So again, I'll be a champion for our local law enforcement, and I will do my part to find the resources and make tough decisions when necessary to promote that. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. All righty. Tina, same question. The Lake County Sheriff's Department has lost several deputies to neighboring counties that pay higher salaries. As a supervisor, how would you improve our county's ability to retain its law enforcement personnel?
I know that public safety is a key in our community, and I understand that we're struggling to keep our law enforcement personnel. We need to take a very serious look at how we spend money training not only our law enforcement, but all our county employees. Every sector of our county has large turnover. This is costing us money, resources, and time. I know working with the Juvenile Justice Commission, the probation also has a large turnover, and it costs $30,000 to fully train one officer. And this takes a 2-year period of time, and this is only one officer. And then now they're free to, leave our county and go work for our neighbors, and we don't recoup back that $30,000. We need to look at programs like the Lakeport Police put into place, where individuals sign contracts to stay on for a 3-year period of time after being trained. I think this will help keep people in place. I think that needs to be a longer period of time than 3 years, but I think they're doing a great job, and this is a start. I wish we had unlimited resources to be able to pay our employees more, but the truth is that we're working on limited resources. I have been going to county supervisors meetings for the past 2 years now, and a term that is often heard is limited resources. We need to be figuring out and looking at how we can ease this phrase in Lake County. Our yearly budget is a little over $200 million, and about half of that goes to paying our employees. This doesn't leave us much to take care of the rest of the county. We need to look at ways to bring outside money into our county. I went to a meeting last night, and I talked to Cecilia Curry, who is a candidate for state assembly, and she was amiss of why Lake County is not at the table when it comes to giving grant money out. She doesn't see us there, and we need to make sure that we're there in the forefront, letting everyone know. Again, Lake County is here. We need your help. So as supervisor, I will be there at the table, making sure that we're bringing that outside money in.
Thank you, Tina. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next question. We'll stay with you, Tina Scott. What work should be done to help the health of our lake?
Clear Lake is the most important treasure that Lake County has, and we need to make sure that we're doing everything possible to take care of it. Historically saying, it is the oldest lake in the country, being 2.5 million years old. It provides us with so many activities and brings people in, boating, swimming, and fishing, just to name a few. I have learned so much about the lake in the last 10 months with my campaign. I have talked to the Sierra Club, Lake County Land Trust, and the Middle Creek Restoration Project. And these groups of people are passionate about the lake and the land, and they have ideas and know what we could do to protect it. Also, I've talked to Supervisor Steele. He's another person that has a lot of excitement for the lake, and I know him and I could work together to champion for Clear Lake. I've had the privilege of spending a great deal of time talking and listening to Dr. Harry Lyons, who after many talks has come out to endorse me. I would say that Dr. Lyons is the person that has the most passion for Clear Lake and the most knowledge. I don't know if any of the listeners have ever heard him talk, one of his, talks that he gives, but he is engaging and informative. In September, I was at a presentation at the Redbud Audubon Society on lessons from green waters. His talk explained that our lake is not dead or dying like some people think and feel. It actually has an overabundance of nutrients. Dr. Lyons has a plan to help this problem, and is the Middle Creek Restoration Project. It will restore damaged habitat and improve the water quality of the Clear Lake. The Middle Creek Restoration Project is designed to provide a functional wetland and will have significant effects on the watershed health and the water quality here in Clear Lake. While the county is already on board helping move this project along, it has been stalled for many years. I'm glad that Dr. Lyons has gathered together a team of people to work to finally make this happen. Stay tuned. I'm a great supporter of this project and will work hard as supervisor to facilitate however I can.
Thank you, Tina. Okay, Martin, same question. What work should be done to help the health of our lake?
Well, very simply, we should do everything that we possibly can. Clear Lake is one of the oldest lakes on planet Earth. A eutrophic lake. It is unique in many senses here in the United States, and definitely is our most valuable resource when it comes to our economy, tourism, quality of life, recreation. Being outdoors. Clear Lake is definitely the jewel of Lake County, and we definitely need to protect it. The Middle Creek Restoration Project is important. It's paramount. It needs to continue to be supported. And while we're working on that, there are many other things that we need to look at, because there are some very large hurdles with the Middle Creek Restoration Project. And here's one example. When a lot of that land is reclaimed back to its marshlands, back to its native environments, there are multiple PG&E towers that have foundations on them that will need to be upgraded for a marsh environment. That's a $7 million task just by itself. So we need to be very aggressive, reaching out to our local stakeholders, local groups that have a vested interest in the lake and the restoration project. We need their help, reaching out, finding grant money, because that money, we just don't have it. We have limited resources. So we need to find the grant money, reach out to the sources from the state and the federal government that can help us, because we are good at getting grants. The Water Resources Department under Scott DeLeon's leadership and one of his staffers, Carol Rattan, she has written millions of dollars of grants for Lake County and been successful. Currently, we have one of the most successful quagga mussel programs going on the lake, provided by grant money, even staff, reoccurring. We've got a 4-year period of staff levels that we can monitor our boat launches. So these type of programs are extremely important. But there is something that gets overlooked quite often, is us, we, the community. And we can all do our part, from agricultural business to our own backyard. Don't throw the lawn clippings over your back fence if you live on a creek. If you have animals, put it in the garbage can. Don't toss it over the fence. All of this runs to the lake. So civic community involvement is on the front lines first and foremost. We need to do our part. Our agricultural businesses need to do their part to make sure they're doing no harm. One of the most important things we can is do no harm. And we definitely need to listen to the scientists, our local talents, our local resources, and the stakeholders, because ultimately together it's going to take all of us to protect the lake and continue to work on the Middle Creek Restoration Project. Thank you.
Thanks, Martin. Let's move on to our next question. This one we'll direct at Martin again. Aside from your own family members, who is your campaign's most important endorsement, and why is that significant?
Well, I think definitely the most important endorsement comes from those of you listening right now, my fellow community members, the stakeholders, 60,000 strong Lake County, and over 12,000 right here in District 4. And these are the folks that make things happen at day-to-day life. Elected officials are not superheroes. It is our job to be leaders. It's our job to reach out to the community, to listen, to take criticisms, concerns, success stories, have an open mind and an open ear to the community itself. And amongst those people that I hold so dearly, one stands out greatly, and his name is Brian Martin. He's the sheriff of Lake County. And I've known Brian for quite some time. He is a dedicated public servant. He has been a public servant for nearly all of his adult life, from the military spanning into law enforcement. His leadership capabilities, his experience here in Lake County transcends even the law enforcement group. So working alongside with him for these past many years, it's taught me a great deal. I've learned and gained a great amount of experience from Sheriff Martin. And having his endorsement and his support means the world to me. It knows that on a day-to-day basis, I can reach out and communicate with him. I can tap into his leadership skills, tap into his experience and his concerns. And working side by side with constituents, colleagues, and friend like Brian Martin will definitely help me be a better representative, a better supervisor for District 4 and for Lake County, and a better community member at that. So Brian Martin would definitely be one of my most important endorsements, one of most important supporters, and I'm happy to have him as a friend, and Lake County is lucky to have him, and I will do my due diligence as your District 4 supervisor to emulate exactly what Brian Martin emulates for Lake County.
Thank you, Martin. Okay, Tina, your turn. Same question. Aside from your own family members, who is your campaign's most important endorsement, and why is it significant?
Yes, endorsements are important, but I've been looking for support from all the people, not just the ones with titles. I have found in my campaign that there is much excitement for my candidacy. Lake County has seen me as someone they can trust, someone that has shown integrity in everyday life. And these are traits that I have and I live by. As I've said many times before, the most important people to endorse me in my campaign are the people like you and me, the person teaching our children, the person ringing up the groceries, the person fixing my car. These are the people who I find important. These are the people that I will be working for. I could also make a list of people with important titles, but honestly, the most significant endorsement for me is the 1,250 plus people that came out and cast their vote for me in June, bringing me out way on top. I plan to work for every one of the people in Lake County, not just the ones with titles. This is why I feel I can be the voice for all the people. But if you are interested in my list of endorsements, you can look at my pictures and posts on Facebook, and you will also find me with everyday people.
Thank you, Tina. And let's move on to our final question. We've been moving really quickly here, swiftly through these things, so there will be some time at the end here to discuss some other important issues. But we'll get to the final question. Tina, we'll stay with you. What are your unique qualities to be an effective supervisor?
For me, I think my unique quality is that I'm able to work well and relate to people. After the June election, my 3 opponents came out endorsing me. I believe this was because I was able to reach out to them and they trusted me. I believe this says a lot about who I am as a person. I believe to be an effective supervisor, you can't come in thinking you have all the answers, but no, you must do the work and gather the information and then make an informed decision. I also have been entrusted for the care and the well-being for your children as a school board member, and I have successfully performed my duties. And I know this because the teachers tell me, and I get phone calls more than any other board member that I sit with. And a lot of the phone calls aren't just asking for questions. They just want somebody to listen. I have fought for a balanced budget as a school board member. I sat on the team who spearheaded the passage of a $17 million school bond that will give us a new community pool, a learning center at Terrace Middle School, and equipped Lakeport classrooms with 21st century learning. Now I'm looking to do this on a grander stage, wanting to take care of all the people in Lake County. I also have sat on many committees as lead chair or president, needing to organize meetings and budgets. I am also a very successful mother of 10, and to do that, you have to be very organized and be prepared to deal with many different personalities. I've been told many times that people have no idea how I'm able to do everything I do, but I do it very well. I also believe that integrity matters and is needed in government. People have to know and trust who they elect into office. They have to have shown in their life that they have walked the walk, and this is what I've done for the last 16 years here in Lake County. And first and foremost, as supervisor, you need to be a leader. And if you can't lead yourself well, how do you expect to lead others? I will bring these same skills and dedication and work ethics to the Board of Supervisors. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Martin, same question. What are your unique qualities to be an effective supervisor?
Well, one of my unique qualities is the ability to reach out and converse with the community. I've had those that say I have the gift of gab, and I think I've utilized that throughout my not only political career, but in all my community involvement, from the many functions, either as an auctioneer or a master of ceremonies, the many charities that I help raise money, but really be able to walk down the sidewalk, engage our community members in conversation, listen to their concerns, their accolades, their criticisms, and take that back and make informed decisions when it comes to our city council and the future of District 4 supervisor. My leadership throughout my 4 years as a council member in producing a workable, successful marijuana cultivation ordinance here in the city of Lakeport, leadership in using creative thinking to acquire a new police station as opposed to retrofitting a building that was really unsuitable with the latest California mandates for law enforcement facilities. Also, tapping into a vast array of relationships, both public and private. There are many business owners here and community members that do so much for this community, and listening to those folks and be able to take that and put it into a program or turn it into an ordinance or even a successful program that will affect the entire community. I believe that I have those qualities. I also have the ability to reach out at state and federal levels and touch those people, represent them. It's a two-way street. If we can get them to do things for Lake County, in turn, we need to make sure we're supporting them when they are battling for monies and resources here for Lake County. Through my many supporters, I believe that a unique character is that you can talk to me. I'll give you an honest answer. I will go to bat for you. I will make sure that your concerns are heard, even if I don't agree with them fully. And I think some of those qualities is why I've earned the endorsement of Sheriff Brian Martin. I've earned the endorsement of the Lake County Sheriff's Deputy Association. So they both believe in me. They believe in my character and my integrity, and they have made the choice to choose me for their District 4 supervisor. So that makes me work even harder to make sure that my work as a leader, tested leader, experienced leader, as a council member for the City of Lakeport, I will take that to the Board of Supervisors or District 4 supervisor.
Thank you, Martin, and thank you, Tina, for participating in our submitted question portion of our forum here. We moved through that really quickly, so we're still left with a few minutes here, about 20 minutes before the top of the hour. So what we've decided amongst ourselves here is there's a couple issues that we kind of spoke about briefly before we went live on the air. So this will be kind of more of just a general discussion, but also you'll be able to present your platform through a discussion of these issues here. Recently, the residents of Lake County have seen the transformation of the downtown area here with the improvements to the sidewalks and the street, and there are some more improvements coming along, including some trees lining the street and other things in that regard, and obviously that's been a widely successful project. Moving forward, though, we're now looking at the Lakeport Lakefront Revitalization Plan that is being proposed for the area between, I think it's 3rd Street and Natural High. And you can actually go online. If you go to the City of Lakeport webpage at cityoflakeport.com, you can go and take a survey where your opinion would be used to design, if you will, the project moving forward. And Martin, we're going to go with you. What is your position on the Lakeport Lakefront Revitalization Plan? Why is this important? And more importantly, where are we getting the money to do this?
Well, first and foremost, you must have a plan. If it comes to emergency preparedness, if it comes to your city's general plan or the county's general plan, and so the lakefront revitalization, same issue. You have to have a plan. And reaching out to the community through these surveys, through public forums like we've done at the city, through law enforcement and just the state of the city, we are receiving the most important opinions, and that's from our community members. These plans won't work without community input. Civic engagement is so important. Again, elected officials are not superheroes. We can't perform our job without community input. So the plan itself, once realized, once finalized, it basically is a blueprint for a developer or for companies looking to come to Lake County, and specifically Lakeport, and have a set of rules and wants from the community, so they can make a determination on what maybe their development may be. So the money to pay for it really goes to the developer itself. This is basically a guideline that says, welcome to Lakeport. We're open to your ideas, and here's what our community has put forth to you to be able to follow through with. So, again, it's a plan. It was done by grant money, and it's really important for the civic engagement for the community at hand. Take the survey, walk into City Hall, email all of your local officials, let them know what you feel is appropriate for that plan, and when it gets to the bottom line, that's who truly is making the decision. It's not your elected officials, it's not city staff, it will be the community at whole that will decide how that lakefront revitalization plan works. And it's so important. It's been too long, and we have some great components to it, including school property and city property that can be added to it. So I think it's wonderful, and I think most people would agree that the sooner the better. And it'd have been great if this could have been done 10 years ago, as Tina stated earlier before we started the show. But yeah, we need to move forward. So please take the survey. Thank
you, Martin. Tina, now your turn to chime in on this here. Obviously, as I said, the Lakeport downtown project was a great success here. It looks awesome. This Lakeport Lakefront Revitalization Plan, why is it important, and where are we going to get the money to do this?
I'd first like to say I think the city of Lakeport did a great job reaching out to the community, wanting to get their input. And it wasn't just saying we want to get your input. They actually use the input, and they have graphs, and they have pictures, and they had meetings. But I think some people in the community thought to be able to go to these meetings, they had to live within the city limits. So I think that needs to get out there that we want they want everybody's opinion. I mean, they even came to the school and handed out surveys to our high schoolers. They wanted their input on, what they wanted in the city, because it's not just it's everybody's. This is everybody's city. We all use it. The city came to the school board, explaining to us what their plans are, and that was great. They really have done a tremendous job reaching out to the community. And if you don't know about this project, you need to look it up. Look up on the city. And I believe, Martin, isn't there a store on Main Street that has pictures in it too of maps of the different ideas?
Yeah, there are actually multiple locations, and those are located on the website, or just call the city of Lakeport.
Yeah,
263-5615, and yeah.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of different plans. They don't just have one plan, and they also stated that they're not going to just go with the plan. They want to take bits and pieces of it, that what the community wants, and find developers to make that plan. But it's beautiful, and I think it would bring people into our community, and it's going to also bridge Library Park with downtown. So it'll just become one great place that people will want to come visit and stay. I mean, there's hotels involved in there, and restaurants and beaches and places to park your boat. It's just a tremendous project, and now we just need to get developers on board to bring the money in.
And Paul, continuing this, and we mentioned this briefly earlier before the show, but Tina, through her efforts at the school board and the school, and mine with the city council and city staff, there's a gem of a piece of property which is called the Old Natural High, and it is a large open space ripe for development that will definitely fall into this plan. So again, there's a public partnership that we need to continue to expand on. There's a little sliver of property there of beachfront that's held by private ownership. But I think that the school coming together with the city and the community at a whole may have a voice, and I think that can be turned into something later in the future. And there is a feasibility study for a hotel, and that was done through grant money, and that's being completed. And again, that will fall in line right with that revitalization project. Is a hotel developer will now have the guideline, the map, the tools, and most importantly, the community voice of what they need to and how to approach Lakeport and Lake County.
Yeah, because I think sometimes that's what developers fear, is they're going to come into a community and the community says, we don't want you here. So the city's already done their due diligence saying, we want you here. This is what we want. This is the plan. Please come and build it.
Absolutely.
And again, you can take the survey by going to the City of Lakeport's webpage at cityoflakeport.com. Okay, I want to bring up another question here. This one has to do with the infrastructure of the city of Lakeport here, mainly roads and water. My biggest complaint about where we live is the roads. I am in an area of the city where the roads have been beat up. The downtown looks beautiful. But the question comes up, why are we doing this for downtown when the roads are so bad? Also, looking forward into the future, water is going to be an issue. We're going to get into another drought period here. Water is always an issue. How do you propose that we can provide enough water for our residents and for projects like this downtown, the Lakefront Revitalization Plan? So we're going to go ahead, and Tina, I'll give it to you first. Where are we going to see ourselves in 10 years when it comes to our infrastructure? Roads, water, and so forth.
I've been approached with the road problems by many people. Many people are very concerned about the roads and what am I going to do about the roads, and there's just not enough money there to take care of everything we need to take care of. So I think you need to get educated on what is on the ballot, that the city has a measure on the ballot, and educate yourself on what they're looking for, and then hold your officials accountable that money is spent. If it does pass, that money is spent on the roads, and it is put where they say it's going to be put, because that is going to be the only way we're going to be able to fix the roads, is if that measure passes. So I'm for that. I think we need to do everything we can to do that, because I know going over, I think it's Geiselman, into going to the school, it tears your car up, and there's many people that use that road, so we need to make sure that we're bringing in money. And I know that tax measure, it's not going to come out of all of our pockets. There's so many people that come out and into the town of Lakeport, so it's going to be their money that's going to be helping fix the roads. So I am a champion of wanting to fix the roads. There's so much roads that we need to fix. It's going to take all of us working together. It's going to take, like Marty said, grant money coming in. We need to make sure that we're doing that, everything possible. And water. Water, I know, is a big one, too, for people. I know the water rates went up for the city limits of Lakeport, but I don't know if people fully understood why. It wasn't just because they hiked up the water because they wanted to. There was infrastructure that needed to be fixed, and to be able to fix that infrastructure, they needed to raise the hikes. Maybe it was a little bit too much at one time. They needed to ease into it, but I hear now that Lakeport has they've done a great job of fixing all those systems up.
Okay, thanks, Tina. Marty, same question to you. Looking forward in 10 years, what are we going to do about our roads and the water situation?
So the roads, the bane of every elected official or public official, I'm sure, in just about every jurisdiction in the state of California. Resources, and that's really what it comes down to. We have a budget in the city. The city is mainly general fund is budgeted by sales tax. The county, it's property tax. The city of Lakeport has Measure I that was specific for roads, parks, and police, and that money has been spent over the years for those very items. And the road monies alone total $7 million. With additional $5 million coming from the city, but we just can't keep up. So, definitely look at your local sales tax measures. The county looked at one. It's not on the ballot during this election cycle. I know they'll continue to look at it. The city of Lakeport has Measure Z, and it won't fix all the roads. If it passes, it's 1%. It'll create $1.4 million. But what that does open the door to is grant monies that we can't currently tap into, and many $1 million grants, $3 million, $4 million grants, we can't apply for because they come with a hefty match. If it's a 20 or 25% match, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars that we just don't have. But being creative and utilizing existing programs, such as Geiselman. Geiselman is scheduled to be completely redone. Half of the road we're going to be able to do with our water and sewer fund because the water line main needs to be replaced. So in replacing that line, we're going to be able to tap into some of those water funds to help replace that side of the street. Yet there's another half. So creative programs like that. We need to continue to be vigilant, with our civic engagement. Main Street right here, that was the last of the redevelopment money. So unfortunately, the $2 million that was left out of over $7 million for that project had to be spent there or send it back to the state of California. And we chose to better our community and better our downtown with it. I wish we could have dispersed it onto many of the roads. We just legally couldn't do it. So look at those tax measures, engage your public officials, and we need to be self-help.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on to our final segment here. This will be closing statements from both of the candidates, and we will start with you, Martin. Your time starts now.
Well, Paul, again, I'd like to thank you and KXBX by Coastal Media for hosting this forum today, and for my opponent, Tina, being here as well. And most importantly, for all of you stuck with us and listened to for this hour. Again, I believe that District 4 deserves a full-time, fully represented person for the District 4 supervisor seat. I believe I'm that person. Tapping into my years of municipal experience as a Lakeport City Councilman, former mayor, the many committees I sit on, chair of the Area Planning Council, my work through the League of California Cities, being an advocate for proper legislation to do no harm to California cities, tapping into my many supporters, such as Brian Martin and the Lake County Deputy Sheriff's Association, utilizing my relationships with supporters like the Lake County Association of Realtors, many of my friends, constituents, and some new friends that I've met. Tapping into all those abilities, all that experience, I will bring to the District 4 supervisor seat. Most importantly is you. Tapping into the community, talking to you folks, listening to your ideas, concerns, understanding your criticisms, and help celebrate the successes. Lake County is a great place to live. We're moving in a positive direction. Unfortunately, we were dealt a devastating blow of wildfire, and that is our new norm. So we need to live with that. We need to make sure that we are doing the right things to get through this recovery, because the bar has been reset. Recovery is forever now for Lake County. So we need to access the entire community, civic engagement, and utilize those public and private partnerships and move forward for a better Lake County. We want to preserve our small town lifestyle, but we also need to be responsible, tap into new markets, such as the potential for medical cannabis. It's coming, and we've been working on it on a weekly basis. So there are many many things that we can do to help promote Lake County. And as your District 4 supervisor, I dedicate full-time job to doing the best and serve you properly. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Tina.
Well, thank you, Paul, and thank you, Marty, for coming to the show. I think we need to inform the voters of their choices. I believe I'm the right person for the job. My willingness to work with anybody, regardless of their views or backgrounds, is needed as supervisor. My life's work has been for the betterment of the youth of Lake County, and now I want to do this on a grander scale for all the people of Lake County. I believe that integrity and trust is needed in our elected officials, and these are qualities that I possess. I have found the last couple months campaigning that people are very passionate about this county, and I've been able to talk with many groups and individuals on an array of topics and know this is how government should run. This is how government should work. Open meetings to discuss, not just somebody there telling them what they want, but to better understand everyone's views and ideas. And this is how I will work as supervisor. I will hold monthly meetings to better understand people's views and ideas. So I will be equipped to make those hard decisions when I have to. I will be a supervisor for the people with the voice of the people. I believe my message of fresh eyes, new ideas, and energetic leadership has been heard by the voters. And again, I know that integrity is the most important when casting a vote. I thank you for all the support, and I look forward to the results in November.
Thank you, Tina. Well, this will conclude our Lake County District 4 Supervisorial Forum. I just want to personally say thank you to both of the candidates for coming here today. It is so important that we encourage our listeners to get out and vote. And we here at KXPX feel that a forum like this gives our listeners the opportunity to be informed, to get to know our two candidates, and we are proud to be able to present that type of programming to you. If you did not catch yesterday's forum for District 1, you can now go to our YouTube page at Bicoastal Media NorCal. We will also post the recording from this forum up there as well. So I want to say thank you again to Martin Shield. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you.
And Tina Scott, thank you.
Thank you.
And again, be sure you get out to vote on November 8th. I believe absentee ballots are going to be mailed out here shortly, so if you vote by absentee ballot, don't lose it. Don't put it in the drawer and think that you'll get to it later. Fill that thing out right away. And remember, if you want to go online and learn more about the City of Lakeport Lakefront Revitalization Plan, you can do that by going to the City of Lakeport website at cityoflakeport.com. Okay, for Martin Shield and Tina Scott and the candidates for District 4, my name is Paul Thomas, signing off saying thank you for joining us here on AM 1270 and 96.5 FM KXBX Lakeport.